And this is my first. Hi everybody, I'm Holy Locked, and this is my first video on YouTube. I'm going to be covering in this video. I'm going to be covering Ret Paladin changes from BFA to Shadowlands. I will be talking about the GCD change, abilities that have changed, or abilities that have come back, the talents. I tried to get to races and legendaries, but the video was getting kind of long. So I'm going to actually move those to a separate video. I might just do it when I talk about the covenants. The talents, I mean, if I can get the video down short enough, I will include the talents in this video. If not, it will be on the next video, which I'll just release side by side with this one. That way this video doesn't become like an hour long or anything, because talking about the talents took a little bit longer than I planned. And if you do enjoy the video, please consider liking and hitting subscribe. I do have more videos coming out. Alright, enjoy the video.
Light, grant me one final blessing. Give me the strength to shatter these bonds.
Alright, and now I'm going to be going over some of the spell changes from BFA to Shadowlands. Okay, so first of all, as you can see, scrolled over here, we have Blessing of Sacrifice. Now that's an ability that was in BFA, but not available for Ret Paladins, but now it's coming back. And in case maybe you started in BFA or something, here's just kind of an overview of what it does. Alright, so you use that on a party or raid member, takes 30% of the damage they take and transfers 75% of it to you. And it lasts for 12, as you can see, lasts for 12 seconds or until you're going to fall below 20% health and it's going to automatically fall off. So essentially it's like a 30% shield wall for whoever you use it on. Alright, next up, as you can see right here on my bar, auras are back. In kind of a different way. I'm sure you've probably heard of it in one way or another. Crusader Aura used to be the passive, which increases our mounted speed by 20%. Now it's an aura to affect us and our allies. Devotion Aura, it's now for all Paladin specs, but it's reduced to 3% over 40 yards. And then Concentration Aura, an aura that has returned from, I guess the past, to say. Interrupted silence effects are going to be shorter for 30% on all parties and raid members within 40 yards. And then Retribution Aura, it's a lot different. I was going to say a little. It's a lot different than how it used to be. It used to be putting an aura on everybody, and whenever they would take damage, it would do some damage back to whoever damaged them. It's changed in a way to where if one of your allies dies, you get Avenging Wrath for 12 seconds. In BFA, Retribution Aura was a passive. Now it was just, I believe it's just called Retribution, and it was whenever a party or raid member died, that you'd gain, I believe it was 20% extra damage and a 30% damage reduction. I think that may have been it, but it was along those lines. That's how it was. Overall, I'd say the aura's a little underwhelming. I mean, it's nice to have them because hey, it's, you missed them, they come back, but they brought them back in kind of an underwhelming way. In my opinion, I'm not sure exactly what they could do to fix it. Just because once you add something as a passive to a class, just taking it away and being like, okay, well, you had these two passives before, well now you can only choose one, and also they are on the GCD. So aura swapping, it's just going to be annoying in case you need to do that. You're not going to be able to. I mean, you will be able to do that, but it's just not. It's not going to feel good because instead of you doing a damaging move, you have to switch an aura, which you're just losing time. And if you have to multiple times switch auras, because there are some conduits that do interact with them, then you're losing damage. I mean, who wants that? Okay. And then another ability right here, as you can see, Shield of the Righteousness. It's now not only for protection of paladins. Ret Paladins can also use it, but as you can guess, you need a shield to use it. Now the problem with that is Ret Paladins don't use shields. I mean, I guess for maybe a scenario where you need to, I guess, quickly use a sword and a shield, but I mean, if you're doing like a world content, I mean, just go prot. That's really all you need to do. Just go prot. I mean, I can't really see this being too good or anything. The AoE, it does do uncapped AoE damage, but the amount that it does, 380, it's not much. Say you're hitting 10 people or whatever, it'll hit for about 4K. This one you're hitting 5 people, it's gonna hit for like 6 0.5k or something like that. So it's like, what's the point if I would just use... I'm not going to use 3 Holy Power on this when I can just use it on Divine Storm. Alright, and then another one. Oh, and that leads me into my next point. Divine Storm. It now has an AoE cap. You might recognize this if you played Paladin, you know, back in Wrath and everything. That's the last time I remembered this change. Remember this ability being this way. Was it's yeah, as you can see, it only damages 5 of the enemies versus how back at how it was BFA Legion, that it was just uncapped. They try to compensate it by upping the damage on it a bit. You see it says 1200 here, and this says 1800. Back on live, the Divine Storm does, I think, it does a little bit more than half of what Templar's Verdict does. So it does probably around like 60% of the damage Templar's Verdict does. Here they definitely try to close the gap on that, a bunch. But it still doesn't feel nice. The AoE cap being 5, it lowers your ability, like doing Mythic Plus content. Say you need big pulls or any heavy ad fight. It's not that nice of a change because having an AoE cap is never good, and we struggle with AoE damage anyway. And Consecration, which leads me into that. Consecration is baseline again, no longer a talent. It's been changed quite a bit. Damage has been scaled down, but we have it back. A sad part about this, it does such a minimal amount of damage. The only time you'll really want to use it is if you have a gap in your opener, because it's just a DPS loss. Like, what? It's almost like, why use it? Like, really, it doesn't really feel nice to press. Like, why would I press Consecration over using a Blade of Wrath? Or Templars of Regular, really any other move. I mean, maybe Crusader Strike, because Crusader Strike doesn't, it doesn't hit for anything. So yeah, that's how I feel about Consecration and Divine Storm. All right, and then so Wake of Ashes. It's a ability we got baseline in BFA. It was the legendary weapon ability from Legion. All right, and so what it did in BFA, it was a talent. Sorry, I think I said baseline. I meant to say sorry. It was a talent in BFA. Pretty much every Paladin would take it. I don't really know of any situation where you would take what was the ability? Just Consecration, and it was like Divine Judgment that increases judgment damage based on Holy Power spent. No one played it. I've tried playing builds with it just to have fun. It's not fun. It's really not. It's like, okay, is that it? Okay. Yeah, but Wake of Ashes, BFA, it generated 5 Holy Power, and, does pretty much what it does now. It does the big AoE damage. Uncapped, by the way. Okay, so, but as you can see in Shadowlands, we just have a baseline. Yeah, finally. Downside, it only generates 3 Holy Power. I've done a lot of testing with this. I've been playing, Red a lot on, Shadowlands beta, if you could guess. The 5 Holy Power, yeah, it's definitely noticeable. You definitely have to change up some of your gameplay a bit, which it's fine having to change up how you play the game. But I don't really see there really being a reason for that. Just because you make something baseline doesn't mean you just have to automatically make it worse. Because if it was a talent that everybody picked in every scenario, and it was never a bad one to take, it may as well have just been a baseline ability at that point. Yeah, so the 3 Holy Power generation, it doesn't feel that nice. It's not class breaking or anything. It's not the best change. I'm sure we'll get used to it. There are ways you can play with it. It's another thing you're gonna have to adapt to. Overall, not happy with that, but happy it's baseline. If you notice in BFA, you got an automatic critical strike on your Divine Storm or your Templar's Verdict whenever you activated Avenging Wrath. In Shadowlands, you're not going to have that. You're not going to have that free crit on your first wings. Not first, I should say first wings. When you activate wings, your first Templar's Verdict or Divine Storm is not going to give you that free crit. It's just, it doesn't feel good enough to have. I would like it, especially, at least make it for Divine Storm. I mean, it's already AoE capped. We're not going to be, getting a massive crit on an entire room. It's going to crit on 5 people. And I think that's fine because, Red, we pretty much always struggled with AoE damage. And yeah, they at least just made this only affect Divine Storm. And if it doesn't affect Templar's Verdict, but affected Divine Storm. I'd be okay with that. I mean, you would just use Divine Storm instead of Templar's Verdict in that scenario, and I think it's fine. Templar's Verdict, I mean, Divine Storm, cool ability, nothing against it. But yeah, they took that away. All right, and as for any more just normal changes, so some things we got back as well. Oh yeah, Hammer of Wrath is now baseline again. Sometimes I don't really think about this because it was a talent that you pretty much always took, unless you're running like Expurgation build. No, Hammer of Wrath. It's now baseline again. Same rules. 20. It's your execute, so a 20% health or less, or during Avenging Wrath. I mean, not too much to say about it because it's like that's really the only change that it is baseline. So that's really nice. It does interact with a legendary and some of the Covenant, and well, yes, one of the Covenants. And then so over here we have Shield of the Righteousness. Just talked about that. So turn evil. It is your undead, demon or aberration CC that you can use. Fleep to 40 seconds. You do have a conduit that'll buff the range and the cast time of it, making it I think a 50% faster cast and then 50 yards more range. I'm not sure if that means a literal 50 yards or if they mean 50% because some of the wording on the conduits have been kind of weird and it's not interacting right. But I haven't tested the turn evil one because I really haven't had the spot open for it and it's really not the biggest deal. All right, then Word of Glory used to be a talent. It is now baseline. Cost 3 Holy Power, just heal for 2,900. Not crazy insane or anything, but it's nice to have some abilities back and everything. It does interact with the new talent, Healing Hands. It was just reworked, so now it acts like a Light Up the Protector, except costing Holy Power. That's what its ability Prop Paladins had back in BFA, which healed you based off the damage you took. Now it does have a base heal, and okay, so ooh, interesting. I just looked at this yesterday actually, and it's changed between now and then. That's I hope not too much has changed. I just played this earlier today. Okay. So the only changes, I mean, I saw it coming because it was healing for a crazy amount. So what it used to be is Word of Glory healing is increased by up to 200% based on the target's missing health. It's been reeled in to 100%. I think that's okay. I mean, 2,900 to 3K, it's going to heal for you for 6K if they're really low and everything. I think that's fine. Don't expect it to be a lay on hands level of a heal. Alright, let me see if there's anything else I haven't covered for changes from BFA to Shadowlands. I guess minor change, Art of War, it now gives you the percentage that your Blade of Justice resets instead of just saying your auto attacks have a chance. It says, just say the definite 12%, Blade of Wrath, as you can see, there you go, will give you 24%. Alright, and I believe that is all the changes, like for spellbook wise, from BFA to Shadowlands. Okay, and next up, I'm going to be talking about the GCD change. That's a fun one. If I started sarcastic there, I'm not. It is a really excited one. It was something at the start of beta I was really worried about as a paladin with some of the talents they are giving us. Having the GCD, it would have been terrible. If you have any unholy DK friends, I mean, you tell them you have a bad GCD, they're gonna laugh at you. But, going to Shadowlands, you'd be able to laugh right along with them. You would be, but not so much anymore. Alright, so the GCD change, you'll start off, so Avenging Wrath, no longer on the GCD. Great change. Don't know why it's ever put on, considering it's the only way you really did damage. Having just time taken off of that didn't feel nice. So now, you can use your Avenging Wrath and an ability at the same time. So, for example, say you wanted to use Final Reckoning and Pop Wings. You can do them at the exact same time. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, and let's see. Holy Avenger. Not on the GCD. in case you're not aware of what it does, because I haven't covered talents yet. Holy Avenger. Your holy power is tripled for 20 seconds. So Holy Avenger, 3-minute cooldown, 20 seconds, used to be on the GCD. So say, for example, you wanted to run, Execution Sentence, Holy Avenger, Final Reckoning, using Wings. It didn't feel too nice. You'd have to choose basically between, do I want to use Holy Avenger first, or Wings first? I mean, the obvious choice would be Holy Avenger first, because damage. But then you're losing time. Using like 2 to 3 seconds on just doing anything. You're pressing would be 1, 2, 3, 4 GCDs, and then you can start doing some damage. And even then, that damage is just ramp up damage. So you can have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then on your 7th one, you start doing damage, which wasn't nice. But now that's changed. Obviously, Holy Avenger no longer on the GCD. I'm not gonna test it because I'm not near target demi or anything, but you can use say Holy Avenger and Judgment at the same time. Get 3 free Holy Power, or Holy Avenger and Blade of Wrath, get a full bar since it does triple it, so 3 times the multiplier. This will give you 6 Holy Power. Everything else, will give you 3. Let me test this real quick. Actually, I just thought about this. Arcane Torrent with Holy Avenger. Yep, 3 Holy Power. All right, and I'll get into race picks later on for the Horde side. Sorry, Alliance. I don't really play Alliance. Sorry. Yeah, I'll give you the Horde perspective though on it. Overall race, it's not going to matter a crazy amount for Paladin. Anyway, maybe on Alliance, I think Lightforged Draenei is the best. But I could just be wrong on that. Like I said, I don't play Alliance, but I would imagine it's the best. Okay, so can Dark Earned? No, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Alright, yeah. So yeah, Holy Avenger, not on the GCD. Alright, and let's see it. Alright, so Final Reckoning. Oh wait, sorry. So what I'm going to talk about, what I meant to say is Holy Avenger and, Avenging Wrath being off the GCD, I kind of mentioned it before, makes Final Reckoning better. Because at first, I didn't see a point in taking Final Reckoning. Because it's on the GCD, which is fine. You can't have everything off the GCD. It does damage, so it doesn't feel bad to have on it. It's a short duration, which is pretty unfortunate. I wish it was maybe a 10-second duration to account for the GCD. But it does do some damage to help, alleviate that and everything, which I appreciate. Because before, yeah, so like I said, before you have to use Avenging Wrath and then Final Reckoning. Now you can use them at the same time. Okay, and that's all the GCD changes for Retribution Paladin. Alright, and that's it for this video. Thank you if you made it this far. I know I started losing my voice towards the end there. If you couldn't really tell, I did start running out of water. But yeah, if you like this video, please hit like and consider subscribing. I do have more content coming out for Ret Paladins related to Shadowlands. In the next few videos, I will be talking about the Covenants, the Conduits, Soulbinds, making some just general discussion videos on Ret. How I feel about the class, how I think it's going to be doing overall. Is it bad? Is it good? I'll be giving my opinions on that in my next few videos. Alright, thank y'all. Take it easy.